Hello everyone. Today's topic is 5 ways to crack any interview. Yes, you heard right. 5 ways to crack any interview. My dear friends, I understand that there are 5 basic steps to crack any interview. Those are homework, punctuality, etiquettes, effective communication, and last but not least, selling yourself. Yes, if you are able to follow this 5 steps precisely, trust me, you'll get shortlisted for that particular interview. Okay, so I will let you know more details about those 5 steps. So as we discussed, very first is homework. So friends, whenever you get a call for any interview, or rather whenever you get shortlisted for any interview, you need to make sure that you prepare yourself well for that interview, which means you need to study about the organization which you have been called for. You need to study about the leaders, you need to study about the history. You also need to study about the revenue of organization and so far and so more. And as you all are aware that you will get all these details on Google, then you also need to study about the position that you have been offered for that particular interview. For example, you have been called for a position of marketing manager. So you need to study about what are the basic skill set those are required for marketing managers globally. Okay. Then you also need to study about the challenges that particular organization is facing. Then if in case you are aware about who the interviewer is, you need to study about their interviewer profile, which you will be easily able to get on LinkedIn, so that you will get an idea what is his mastery, what is his or her skill set, what is his or her qualification, experience, so far and so more. Then you need to study about the location of the interview where you have been called for. So basically you just need to prepare yourself that what will be the time that you will require to reach that particular location. So to and fro location, you need to understand what will be the traffic at the time when you will be traveling for interview. How will you travel? So all this are very basic steps that you need to plan well in advance. Okay, so that you don't reach late. Okay, second step is punctuality, which is one of the most important step when it comes to crack interview. For example, you have been called for interview at 10 a.m. You need to make sure you are reaching there latest by 9:15 a.m. which means you need to reach the destination at least before 45 minutes, because there are multiple hurdles which one might face across while reaching the destination. One very common example, let's say you have been called for interview at Accenture. So there are multiple stop points while you reach your interview room, like you're traveling, your first stop point at the Accenture campus, your second stop point at the Accenture building, your third stop point at the reception, and then finally you step into the reception, in the interview room. So you need to know all the stop points, and you need to plan your journey accordingly, so that you don't only reach there on time but you reach well before time, right? And thereafter, the third basic steps is etiquettes. Yes, my dear friends, etiquettes is very important, which also comprises your attire. So you need to make sure that for whichever position, for whichever organization that you are going for apply, or for whichever position you are going to interview, okay, you need to make yourself prepared. You need to wear a proper formal attire for that. Okay, be it boy or girl, you both need to be in a proper formal attire, irrespective of the organization and irrespective of the position. Okay, so formal attire, which means a very proper formal attire, and it doesn't comprises of semi-formal, casual or something like that. Okay, because we say first impression is last impression. Whenever you step into organization, the very first person you will meet is either a receptionist or a security guard. They should feel that, okay, fine, this boy or this girl has come for an interview. That should be your attire. It also comprises of your etiquettes, general etiquettes, like grooming yourself, your hairstyle, your beard, If in case it's a man, it should be clean shave or properly trimmed wear. If in case it's a lady or girl, the hair should be properly tied up and very clean face. In that way, you should have proper etiquettes and attire before you go for any interview. Now the fourth and one of the most important step is effective communication. So guys, effective communication, there are multiple parameters when we discuss about this step, effective communication. Effective communication has multiple aspects. The very first aspect is being positive. So whenever you start talking with the interviewer, you need to be very sure that you are being positive at each step, or rather on each sentence that you talk to that particular person, right? You need to be very effective listener. Listening skill is one of the most important skill which is required during interview. You need to be affirmative, and whenever you talk or whenever you answer any question, you need to make sure that you are answering those questions correctly. Please make sure that don't fool interviewer. Never try to fool interviewer. They are masters, okay, and hence they are sitting in front of you to take your interview. So make sure, if you don't know the answer, be positive, be honest. You can say, okay, I'm not aware about this answer, excuse me. That's all. Okay, you can be very honest, and the opposite person will appreciate your honesty. Yes. And whenever you talk to that particular person, you need to make sure that you have presence of mind. Okay, because they may turn around the question in a way wherein you might get confused. Okay, and you might think like, oh, what to do now? No. So you need to make sure that you have presence of mind. And also one of the most important aspect is never talk negative about anything. For example, if you are joining second job, if you are exiting from first organization, and or maybe from your internship you are joining a job, never talk negative about your past organization, or never talk negative about your colleagues or your manager or anyone. That gives a really bad impression to the interviewer. Okay, so this is very important, that you should never ever talk negative about anyone. And yes, again, whenever you go for interview, as I told you earlier, you need to make sure that you are well prepared for that particular interview with regards to it subject matter. Okay, because one or two questions, if you're not able to answer, they might accept it. But yeah, if you're not able to answer multiple questions with regards to the subject that they are asking, I doubt they might select you for next step of for next round of interview. So you need to be very sure about it. And let's say you get shortlisted, or maybe they like your candidature, they might ask you, okay, we would like to proceed ahead with your candidature. What is your salary expectations? Never jump to a number. If you jump to any number, that will give a negative impression about you. Or maybe it might be the fact that you are expecting a lower number than actually what they have budget for. So a standard answer you may give that expectations, I have no bars, it can be as per the market standard, as per the company budget. Okay, this is a very diplomatic answer that one can give with regards to salary expectations. This is very important, guys. So all these aspects I spoke to you, this is about in-person interview. However, today at a lot of places, virtual interviews are going on. Yes, virtual interviews as in online interview, wherein you need to be present for an interview, maybe on Zoom call, maybe on a Microsoft Teams call, or maybe on a Skype interview call. So that for those virtual interviews, there are altogether different set of etiquettes, different set of homework which you need to be prepared for. For example, let's say tomorrow morning 10 a.m. you have to attend an interview on Microsoft Teams. So you need to make sure that you have sufficient bandwidth available from wherever you are planning to go for interview. Then you need to make sure that you are in a area where there is minimum sound or no sound. There should be proper silence. Then you should make sure that wherever you are sitting for interview, you should have sufficient light, sufficient lux level, so that your face is clearly visible to the interviewer. These are the very basic agenda or very basic steps which is most important while going for interview. Okay, and also while logging in, if in case your interview is scheduled at 10 a.m., you make sure that you log in well before time, you need to log in latest by 9:45 a.m. just to make sure that you have sufficient bandwidth network which is working properly at that point of time. Okay, then the software through which you are logging in, even that software is working properly. So these are the basic steps that you must follow, and you must be well prepared before you start your interview. And last but not least, selling yourself. So guys, once the interview is done, typically they ask you, do you have any question? And people tend to ask, was I selected? Am I selected? Sorry boss. If you ask that, it is very high risk that you might get rejected only because of that particular question. Never ask that question. Okay, so here comes the point, as I told you, last but not least, selling yourself. You should ask, okay, what are the challenges that you guys are facing? You guys as in this organization is facing for, and for which reason you have created this position. Okay, then you need to make sure, you need to give them that assurance that you yourself will be in that position to overcome those challenges. Okay, you should be able to convince them, okay, that you are the one who will best fit for that particular role. So this is the way that you will be able to sell yourself. Okay, and if they ask you that how are you so confident, you can give certain example. You can give example about OnePlus phone. OnePlus phone before few years, I mean just before 4 to 5 years, no one was aware about this particular brand OnePlus. And today, OnePlus is topping the chart of Android phones. Yes, you know, leaving behind Samsung, Realme, Redmi and all other brands. So this is one of the example that you can share. You can also share that, okay sir, okay ma'am, you know what, today human being or a human has reached up to moon, but he or she is not able to reach till the heart of the opposite person, right? And if in case given a chance, I'll make sure that I reach to the heart of my manager. I try to understand his expectations from this particular role. I'll try to understand the organization expectation from this role, and I'll make sure I meet those expectations. And this is the way you will be able to convince them for that particular role that you are the best fit. You should not be that you are one of the best fit. No, sorry. You should make sure that you try to convince the opposite person in a way that they feel that, okay, fine, you are the best fit for this particular role. And yes, that should not sound as overconfident. You should be confident enough, but not overconfident. You should make sure that you are giving all answers correctly. If you are not aware, you can say, okay, please excuse me, I'm not aware about this answer. You need to be honest, you need to be affirmative, you need to wear confidence on your face, you need to wear a smile on your face. So these were the 5 basic steps that is required to crack any interview. And I hope you guys will follow this step for any interview that you guys go for. Wish you all the best for your career, for your future endeavors, and take care. Goodbye.